Hey friend, welcome to my podcast, The Fit Soul. I'm your host, Amy Ramsey. In this podcast, we will be discussing soul-filled strategies to unleash your confidence, increase your energy, and all the things healthy lifestyle. If you're a Christian woman who is ready to reach your God-given potential, walk worthy of your calling with abundant joy and energy, girlfriend, you are in the right spot. I mean, you only have one life to live. You might as well maximize it. Buckle in, and thanks for listening.
Hello, and welcome back, you guys. Joy, hello, welcome to the Fit Soul podcast. And I'm so glad that you're here today.
Thank you.
We're going to have a great conversation, and we're talking about, and I think this is, I should have looked, I think it's episode 118, something like that. And I've been doing a series called the Faith-Fueled Woman's Secret Weapon.
Okay. Come on, secret weapon.
Come on now.
I love to hear
Come
it.
on.
Yes.
Okay, so Joy, we have the best story ever of how we meet,
Pretty
and we're
cool
going to
story.
start with that. Yeah, and then we're going to share, how to connect with you and all the things. So as an entrepreneur, she's an entrepreneur, and a lot of entrepreneurs take their laptops and they sit at coffee shops.
Yep. Yes.
Yes. And I was one day working, and I don't even pay attention when I'm there. Like, I'm kind of like all in my work mode and work zone.
Yep.
And I looked up, and there was this beautiful woman with these beautiful red lips, gorgeous red lips. And
Kind
I'm
of like today, right?
yeah. And I'm like, I stopped what I was doing. I'm like, you are beautiful. What color lipstick are you wearing?
Yeah. Like, what is that lipstick?
What is that lipstick? It's really, really pretty.
Yeah.
And there she was.
Right. And from there, I was like, oh my gosh, hi, this is the lipstick. And you're like, we should link.
Yes.
And so we were like, yeah, but it was just a random connection over lipstick in a coffee shop, really.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, we were like, we will get together. I think the year ended. The next year, we linked for coffee.
Yeah.
And kind of hung out and just talked about what you do and
Yeah.
all the amazing things you're involved in and what I do. And it was a cool meeting that day as well.
It was.
Yes.
And so one of the secret weapons that we have in our life, not to here it is, but is that idea of community.
Yes.
And connection. We're created for interconnectivity.
Yeah.
You want to tell you a fun little story? When Rainey and I went to Italy this past fall, and when we were there, we did a food tour, a walking food tour we did a lot of walking food tours. This particular one was in Rome. And this man was so knowledgeable. He was so personable. He was so delightful. And we had all of our specified little places. Oh, this one was not a walking food tour. It was a walking history tour.
Okay.
But we went to a cappuccino shop. Of course, they
Nice.
have them everywhere. In
Right.
Rome, right. And he walked up and he goes, okay, we're going to order I can't remember exactly what I think you could order whatever you wanted to, but they don't drink cappuccino after 12 there. That's kind of gross. Like, your body doesn't need the dairy, they say. You should never drink it after 12. But we ordered our espresso, and he said, okay, now what you do is you go, and he goes, you wait over here for your espresso, is like on the bar, on the line. And he said, you come here to network. I like, what? He said, you order coffee, and it is an intentional place to come and connect with other business people and to network while you are here. And you never, ever go and sit and take a long, long time at a table, because it is very disrespectful to the cafe owner.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, the whole idea of it was community and connections.
The whole idea
Yeah.
was community and connection. And it's so funny because in America, it is AirPods, headphones,
Yes.
down,
focusing
under.
in, and nobody had better not say anything to you. They're like, oh, don't disrupt me. I'm in the zone.
I'm in the zone.
I'm in the zone.
I'm in the zone. So the idea that we were able to connect over coffee.
Yes.
And then when we connect in real world today, how can we take that a step further? We connected online.
Yes.
And so
we did.
she DM'd me. So now I'm getting to know her a little bit, know more about her. She's a coach. I'm a coach. And I really enjoy what you put out there. You guys have got to go follow her. It's the Joy Bradford.
Yeah.
on Instagram and
Yes.
Facebook.
Yeah. Joy Bradford on Facebook, at the Joy Bradford on
At
Instagram.
the Joy Bradford. Okay. So before we go any further, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I am Joy Bradford.
Yes. As a matter of
And
fact.
born and raised Mississippi girl. And my husband and I, we been married almost 12 years, have 2 littles, 1 baking in the oven.
That's right. That's as we speak.
A daughter, son, and 1 on the way. And he and I pastor
Yeah.
our church locally here in Mississippi. And then I'm a purpose coach as well.
Yeah.
So I get to do life with women in purpose and also get to do life with people in ministry. And so my worlds kind of collided and blended when we moved back from Starkville after living there for 8 years. And Lord called us back here. I'm from here.
Yeah.
Here being the Flowood, Jackson, Brandon area.
Yeah.
So came down this way. And so my overall purpose is just to see people walk fulfilled in who God has called them to be, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
I'm not picky. In any way I can help a person on the track to where God has intentionally created them to be, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's
oh my
go.
gosh. Okay. So I immediately loved you just from who you are and what you do. You speak with such passion and so articulately, and I just love it. Okay. So Joy, as a faith-fueled woman's secret weapon, let's talk a little bit, because this is your wheelhouse, is purpose. Let's talk a little bit about purpose. And, I don't know about you, but I get clients that call me, or people that are in my coaching programs, and like, I've got to know my purpose. And they're freaking wigging out because they think they've got one purpose. And by God, they're missing that one purpose of their life, and they're like they're off altogether. So can you bring some clarity to purpose?
Yeah. So I think we have to first understand that we're believers in Jesus Christ. If you fall into that realm, I can speak more specifically to you. Our umbrella first purpose is to obey and honor the will of God.
Come on now.
So this is the house. So glorify God in all I do. The assignments and the callings and the opportunities that I have inside of the home, inside of this house of glorifying God, they're going to change. And if I get locked down to one purpose, if I change jobs, is my life over? Is God done with me? I heard a guy say once that he was mentoring some football players who were professional football players, and then their career was over. So is their purpose done? Is God done with them? Yeah. Absolutely not. Right. So if we get bogged down to this one thing, like I was created to do this only, then God's like, you're trash after that one assignment. So I think we have to do is we glorify God in all we do. The different opportunities and doors that he opens align with our gifts, our callings, the things that we're good at. And purpose falls within the categories of opportunities and calling and intentions within glorifying God. Because if not, you'll chase after this one thing and you'll never find it. Because purpose is a discovery. It's a journey. It's not a arrival. It's not a destination. And so if we get bogged down in this one thing of like, this is it. And then people grow and change over life as parents and moms. In one season, your purpose may be raising kids. And then when your kids leave, are you done? God's done with you? Like, no. Like, what is he calling you to do? Who has he created you to be? And finding out that and your identity in Christ is what makes it all so easy. But people get so, and purpose has become this sexy, like, oh, my purpose, I gotta know what this is, the way it's commercialized. And it's like, honey, listen, like, it's not even, like, don't stress yourself. Like, God's created you here. You're still breathing. You're still purposed for something. Use the assignments and the opportunities to glorify him. And then purpose becomes more and more clear.
Come on. We got Daniel over here.
Listen.
That's it.
Listen.
Mic drop and we're done.
Listen.
Okay, so Joy, now, Daniel, you know why I said you had to meet her. And I instantly fell in love with you. And we were meant to do life together.
For sure.
And
You're stuck with me now.
Yeah, we're forevers. We're forevers.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the clarity that you bring. And also, by the way, Joy is a keynote speaker at the Worthy Woman Summit.
Yes.
And will be speaking a whole keynote on purpose and breaking all of that down.
Yeah.
It's such an important topic.
It is.
It is such an important topic.
It is.
We're created to live purposefully.
Yes.
And people confuse roles and responsibility with, and listen, I've done it.
Same.
I walked it. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. I walked that. I felt like I'm older than you. I'm in a different life stage, in a different life season. And as I was starting to look forward ahead and realize empty nest was coming at me quick, I freaked the heck out. Like, what? But the Lord the more we can walk in our identity of who we're created to be and enjoy the journey of becoming how he's designed us
That's right.
intricately.
That's right.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
So beautiful.
It is. 100% agree. But I think that especially as you've kind of transitioned, when you transition out of the empty nest, some people go through these crises
Sure.
of like, they're just identity crisis. Like, well, who am I now that I'm not like mom full time?
Yeah.
But you poured in so much life and energy and effort into your children who are now doing what God has called them to do. But your life didn't end.
Yeah.
When their life began,
That's right.
right, to walk out in what God's called them to do. So that's such a beautiful thing, because there's so many people, particularly women, they get stuck right there, and they lose themselves in the momming.
Yeah.
Because you can lose yourself in the mommy moments. You can lose yourself in the day to day, and it's like, but who is Amy? Like outside of mama, who is Amy? And so I think finding that is beautiful. And now you coach from that perspective of like midlife and understanding who you are, that life continues, taking care of your body, your soul, your spirit. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I love that about you.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. As long as we've got breath, there is a purpose and a reason. And those different seasons. For the mom that is at home still with your children, there's not a more important role than you have than pouring into those beautiful children.
That's right.
That are driving you crazy sometimes.
Yep.
Because that window is, I know the days are long, but man, it goes by quick.
The years are short. Yes.
Yeah, the years are short.
Yep.
This little one took you by surprise.
Yes, she did. Praise the Lord. It's the Lord. I think it's Isaiah 65. The Lord opened and closes the womb. Okay? This wasn't my plan, but it was his. And she will be here. Yes.
Yes, she will.
Yep.
Are you ready to awaken your spirit, elevate your life, and unleash every bit of that potential that's inside of you? Oh, girl, let me tell you, the Worthy Woman Summit is a transformational, joy-filled gathering designed to help you embrace your God-given worth, equip you with powerful tools, and help you elevate every area of your life. Here's the deal. You are created for more. You're created for more joy, more confidence, more faith, and more impact. Can you imagine being in a room full of faith-filled, purpose-driven women just like you who are ready to grow and step into their calling and walk in bold confidence? At this summit, you're going to experience faith-filled sessions that inspire you, that equip you for personal growth, and also wellness workshops to elevate your energy and confidence-boosting style tips to help you shine. You will walk away with tips on how to manage yourself and your time and increase your productivity. It is going to be amazing. And this is your chance to meet like-minded women, to make powerful connections. This isn't just an event. It's a faith-driven, high-energy experience where you're going to find your people, unlock your potential, and walk boldly in your purpose. You'll leave with clarity, with confidence, and the unshakable belief that your best days are ahead. But here's the thing. Opportunities like this don't come every day. You need to be in this room. Don't sit on the sidelines of your life. Come join us at the Worthy Woman Summit. And I cannot wait to see you there.
So you blessed me so much. I don't think you'll ever understand how powerful one text that you sent to me was. And I just want to take a moment just to talk about that, because God gives us confirmations, and he used you in a moment, not just the help and what he called you to do, but it was powerful, the beautiful intricacy of God in the little things. But the moment, I want to just share a story real quick. It's story time, y'all.
Story time.
Grab a cup of warm milk, let's talk. But what I wanted to share with our audiences is that I had, in that trip to Italy, I was just talking about, the only trip to Italy I've ever had, which, by the way, I'd like to move there. Okay. Squirrel, I'm back. Is that coming home from that trip, the Lord was doing a work in my heart, a big work. Before I even got to that trip, I was really sitting in places of, what do you want from me? What do you want from me, Lord? What do you want me to do? There's more potential here, and I don't want to leave my life
Yes.
feeling like I haven't given it all.
Poured out. That's right.
Yeah. And so while I was there, I was just overwhelmed with the beauty, the magnitude, the buildings, the structure, the history, the architecture, everything was spectacular.
Mhm.
Just all of these tours that we went on and touring the cathedrals. I would walk away from these tours and Randy was like, okay, what's next? And I'm like, I just need a moment. Like the beauty literally overwhelmed me. It moved me deeply. And to sit and to have the, number one, the privilege, the blessing, the opportunity to be able to see it in person, but then to recognize and realize what man accomplished. And let me just give you one small example because this ties into our story. But one particular cathedral in Florence, and of course I can't remember, the Duomo, has this big dome, and it's just this spectacular dome. But this cathedral, we went and toured it. The cathedral in the center of Florence stayed without a dome on the top because no one had built one like that yet. And they didn't know how to do it. So can you imagine? Florence, I believe at this time, was the capital of Italy. Can you imagine this spectacular, decadent, unbelievable cathedral that takes, it's in the center of the city and it's just gorgeous, with a whole area that is not covered because they couldn't figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And so all these people had to bid on it. And this one guy, he came up with an idea. He didn't have it all worked out, but he was able to figure out a way to make the dome work. And it was the infrastructure. Anyway, between looking at stuff from that, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Botticelli, all of these incredible artists and all of the designs that they made, I walked away thinking, could we even come up with things like that? They came up that with their mind. We have all of this technology and we're not coming up with things like this anymore. My point being is the creativity that man has is unlimited. We're created in an unlimited creative God.
That's
right.
That's right.
But we're so distracted from cell phones and technology and TV, and we're distracted by social media and other people. I mean, I won't go too long into all of this, but the average American, if you take the time right now, and it's going to increase, that they're spending on their cell phones, if they're spending in front of a TV, if you take all of that together, it's about 13 years of our lives. Can you imagine? And it's like, no, but yeah, we can. It's like, okay, yeah, that's that part. That's the part I'm talking about. So I'm there in Italy. I digressed. I went off way longer on that than I meant to, but here we go. And we got random back up. Okay, so while I'm there, I'm like, and I'm done. I'm done wasting so much of my life and giving it away. There's way more here, and it's time to let it go. And so I set time limits on my phone.
Yeah.
In Italy, I didn't even know how to do it. I'm like, okay, legit, I'm taking ownership. I'm taking responsibility. I'm taking action steps to hold my butt accountable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm all in on that flight home. I am moved, and I'm not getting on TVs and screens, and I couldn't get on my computer and start doing work. So I just sat there, and the Lord was like, he speaks to us when we let him.
Still ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah. He speaks to us when we are quiet, when we're listening. He tells us our next steps. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
But most of us are way too distracted we're not still, and we're not listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I got home. God spoke to me on that flight home. It's like, do this, do this, do this. Talk to these people, have this. Worthy Woman Summit, end of March. It's at the Embassy Suites. I'm like, okay, great. It was such a beautiful ride home. But when I got home, I'm like, oh gosh, no, wait, what?
Right.
I forced myself to put it on Facebook because I didn't even know where to have an event. I didn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
I forced myself to put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I got back to your text. I got a text from the girl at the coffee shop with the red lips that we've talked to. Now she's my friend. Said, I don't know what you're doing with this event, but You tell the story.
Yeah, I do remember when we met for coffee that day, you said, I would love one day to do some type of woman something here. But you're like, I don't know where to start. I wouldn't know what to do.
No.
And I was just listening. We're getting to know each other. And I'm like, okay. And that day, I'm like, man, it'd be cool. But it was just kind of like thoughts of like one day-ness, right? I hope it's a desire in my heart. Well, I think a half a year had gone by when you went to Italy. And so you posted it. I'm in Texas on a trip for a friend who's doing a podcast. And I'm laying in the bed and I'm scrolling. And you were like, I just have to do this and be obedient. I'm putting this out there. If I don't put it out there, it's not going to happen. But I'm doing a women's conference. I don't know what to do. And immediately the Holy Spirit said, you need to text her. And whatever she needs, you need to help her, provide the skills, services, benefits that you have and help her. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But I'm like, wait, I'm pregnant. Like, I got all this extra stuff. Like, Lord, is the timing now? He was like, don't worry about all that. Just do what I said. I'm like, yes, sir. I've learned to work now and ask questions later. So I text you that day and I was like, hey, don't know what you're doing. Don't know what you need, but I got you. I've done events, different places, different states, run logistics. So how can I help you? And you're like, oh my God, thank you so much. And then later I was like, hey babe, I was like, God told me. He was like, listen, if God told you, go for it.
I love that.
We'll work it all out for the rest. And so in my mind, I think that sometimes too, we can second guess ourselves because of what we think capacity wise or timing wise. But what I've learned is just to trust the still small voice of the Holy Spirit. And from there, the grace that he gives you for the pace that you call to will all be aligned. And so I obeyed. And so from there, we're rocking and rolling, locked in, working through logistics, having meetings, preparing. It's going to be an amazing event in Mississippi that people and women should either drive to, come to, or show up for in some way. And it all became out of your obedience from what the Lord is speaking to you on the plane back from Italy. And so I think it's just so neat how God orders our steps.
That's right.
And he goes before us. And so it's a beautiful thing.
Well, he's speaking. That's the thing that, like, I'm hearing you say, I've just learned to listen to that still small voice.
Yeah.
And I need to unpack a little bit of what you just said. And I've got all this and I'm like, oh Lord. In the space of abundance, sometimes when we talk about living abundantly, Jesus, John 10:10,
right?
That God
life
calls us to it, life to the full,
That's
and
right.
abundant life. Some people just assume that's money, it's material things. It's like, no. Like if you think about the children of Israel and they had enough, God gave them food every day, manna every day. How much did he give them?
Just enough for the day.
Just enough. But did they have enough? And
yes, they did.
They did. They had enough every single day. And on that sixth day, they got for the next day and they had more than enough.
Yeah.
Right. And so in God's economy, even in our time economy, there's more than enough. He increases our capacity to do things.
When we're aligned with what he's called us to do. Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Oh, I just want to reach out and touch your finger.
Yes.
We're going to get in trouble from Daniel if we do.
Yeah.
But all that to say, that text that you sent back to that was beyond confirmation because I sat on this plane ride home and I can't express this enough, but I literally wept. I wept and I wept. The presence of God was so beautiful and so thick. And I know I looked like a crazy woman. I didn't care. I just went with it. I'm like, whatever. And I mean, so much came to me on that plane ride. And it was a 10-hour flight, 11-hour flight. I just like kept it to myself. We got up and stood. We were in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Randy's kind of standing the way we exited. He was over. Like I couldn't just. So finally, I was like, "I'm hosting an event, like on the plane. Like I'm hosting an event in Jackson, Mississippi area." He said, "Okay," just like
right.
He's like, "Your husband." He's like, "All right, if God's called you to it, but
let's go."
What? He's just a little confused. Just like, what? Okay.
Right.
But I knew I had to get it. I had to hold myself accountable in that moment on there. But so much fear was coming up for me.
Sure.
And I'm like, that wasn't on my agenda. And this agenda is pretty full.
Yeah.
But I knew that I knew. And you saying, I'm here, I can be your logistics coordinator because we hopped on a phone call. I'm like, oh God, you're so sweet. Yeah. That was so sweet. You have no idea what that did for me.
Right.
In the space of God confirming it again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. It's going to be good.
So Joy and I are working on logistics right now.
Yes, we are.
This thing's going to be fire.
It is. It's going to be fun.
Energetic,
Fun for sure.
dynamic.
Yeah. It's going to be life-changing.
Life-changing.
For women who come in the room.
Yeah.
Who really want to be the very best versions of themselves, to live life on purpose, to live life with intention. The dash in between beginning and died, like that dash is the most powerful piece of our lives. What do we do with that dash? I think learning what God has called us to do in the season of in between of I'm here and then I'm gone, because we don't know when that time comes. Not to be morbid, but we don't know. No. If God's called you to be 96 and you're 76, you got a lot of years left. But if God's called you only live to be 36 and you're 30, your time is coming to an end. We don't know what that looks like. And so the living life with intention, I think this conference, this summit, this women's gathering is going to be intentional about connections, that you're going to meet people from different places doing different things. And really, I mean, the spread of speakers, like, come on. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yes.
I'm excited too. Okay. So Joy, how can people connect with you?
Yeah, so Instagram is at the Joy Bradford. Facebook is Joy Bradford, but my website is just joybradford.com. Just remember Joy Bradford. And I always say Brad like the name, Ford like the truck. And you got it. And you got the joy down in your heart. You got it. So yeah,
you do.
You'll find me that way.
Joy Bradford.
Yes.
And you and your husband pastor a church. Which
We
church
do.
is this?
It is New Vision Fellowship. It's in Brandon, Mississippi.
Yeah.
And so we pastor there. Have a 10:30 Sunday morning service. So
yeah.
Yes.
Y'all would love to have anybody.
We
pop
would.
in.
Come on.
Come through.
Pull up, as the young folks say.
The young folks say
the young folks say that. Pull up. Pull up on us. Yes.
I don't know what the young folks say.
Listen, I have to try to stay young. It's a struggle out here. I'm like, what's good now? Are we still saying cap? Are we still saying lit? No cap? Yeah, I don't know.
What is no cap? Okay, now y'all have to tell me what is no cap.
Now we gotta
cap on God. That's like no lies.
Yeah.
Telling the truth.
Like if I say no cap, it's like all truth.
I know. Get with it.
Yeah.
Get with it. I'm always day late, dollar short.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, you guys, thank you for tuning in today. The woman, a faith-fueled woman's secret weapon here is community, is intentionality, is purposeful living.
Mm-hmm.
Purposeful living. And when you connect, when you are open, when you are looking and you are open to connect and you put yourself out there a little bit. I had to put myself out there a little bit to tell her how beautiful her lips are and what color lipstick was that. I didn't know if she was going to look at me like, girl, what is wrong with you? I didn't know, right?
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah. But she was like, "Oh, girl, it's such and such color.
Right.
Here you go." And now, look, just from that one interaction, God has us together. We're partnering together. She is helping me so much with this summit, pulling together the logistics and thinking things through. It's been fun. It's been wonderful, very refreshing. She's like my sister, my little sister now, and I can't wait for this baby to be born.
Auntie Amy.
Auntie Amy's going wazer.
Yes.
So thank you so much. All right, you guys, we will be back next week and just appreciate you for listening. Thank you. Please share if you've enjoyed this. Please share. Tag me and Joy. We will repurpose. We will repost you. Absolutely. Grab your ticket. You can go to theworthywomansummit.com. I'll say that again, worthywomansummit.com. I'll post this in the show notes. If you're watching this on Facebook, we'll throw it in our captions and down in the comments as well. But we would love to hear, what is your greatest takeaway from this? We would love to hear, like, what action are you taking besides grabbing your ticket to the summit?
That part.
But truly, like, what action will you take? Will you maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit? Maybe strike up a conversation. Build your network without it being transactional, just to be a good human and to love on others well. So, okay, my friend, you've only got this one life to live. You might as well maximize it. All right, friends, bye for now.
Girlfriend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm so honored you come back every week and that you share the Fit Soul podcast with your friends and family. Every time you share my podcast on Instagram or Facebook, I do a little happy dance. Make sure you subscribe to the Fit Soul podcast where you'll never miss an episode. You can go to Podcast, Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify and subscribe so you'll never miss an episode release. And just know, I truly love bringing you excellent content and great guests to provide you motivation and faith inspiration to help you walk worthy. And one of the ways you can help me is to go and leave the Fit Soul Podcast a review. If you have just a moment, would you please go over and leave a review for the Fit Soul Podcast? Thank you again. I love you. And here is your reminder. You are worthy. Until next time. Bye-bye.